because I refuse to not be first.
Do we do enough? Well, I never shut up about it.
It must have been about 16, 17. We nicked their guilt rings. Right, the bouncer's guilt ring.
This is no good for me. That's the reality. If you want the honest truth, and I see it every day.
Oscar Bevis, IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Valas. Harry Scarff joins me, mate. Thank you very much for giving me some of your time. How are we?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. You?
Good, mate. Very good. We've got a lot to talk about today. Obviously, Frank won the purse bids for yourself and Echo Esserman, but I want to kind of sideline that for a second. You just said to me before I press record, we didn't speak after your fight with Jordan. 8 rounds banked, a win. How did you look back on that night at York Hall?
Yeah, no, it was good. It was been a year out of the ring, you know what I mean? So it was good to get that kind of fight against a live opponent in Dujon. He was coming to win. It was a big opportunity for him, up at his weight as well. But no, it was all right. I think it started a bit slow. It was supposed to be a 10-rounder, and then because the fights were dragging on, they changed it to 8 on the ring walk. You know what I mean? So
I didn't know that was. I didn't know they could do that. I didn't know that was ever a thing. Like mid fight night.
Yeah, mid fight night. We were on the way to the ring and said, right, it's a 8 not a 10 now. So Cliff's like, right, don't start fucking slow, because he was thinking like it would, if I lost to Dujon, I'd lose my mandatory for the British and all sorts. You know what I mean? But I wanted a proper fight. I didn't want a journeyman. Need a proper fight, and got that banked and out of the way.
Yeah, is ring rust the real thing?
I don't know, really. I don't know.
I suppose you've always got it. If you can fight, you can fight. It's always there. But then, did you feel a little bit of rust? I guess after it's only a year, but
yeah, maybe a little bit. I mean, to be fair for that camp as well, things have been hard. Like if you're not fighting for a year, I ain't got a big promoter backing and stuff like that. I'm out on the graft. You know what I mean? I'm at work. I'm busy. So for the Dujon fight, I was working a lot, to be fair, and then got that one out of the way. And but yeah, there's plenty more to come from me. I reckon that was me at probably 50%, something like that. It was enough for that, but I'll pull it out. The 100% will come out when it needs to for the big fights.
Yeah, let's talk about that fight next. You and Echo, Derby versus Forest, British title on the line. Is this a fucking tasty one? This isn't it?
Oh, it's the one we're after, isn't it? It's what everyone wants. Like, especially locally, everyone's on it, or the Derby lot, or well up for the fight. I think it's a great fight, isn't it? Derby versus Nottingham. What more can you ask for? That's for the British title as well. And I know he's won the British and stuff like that, but it's a fight that I've been calling for a little while, because we used to spar. We used to spar quite a lot when I was English super welterweight champion and he was English welterweight champion. And obviously, with me coming into the weight, he had just picked up the British title and said that it makes sense. The fight makes sense. Well, probably makes sense for me, because I feel like I've got the beating of him. And I think he knows that. That's why he's quiet around when my name's mentioned and stuff. A lot of people that know, people who have sparred me and people who have sparred me and been in with me, they know I'm a hard night's work for him, and they know that they're probably going to get beat, so they avoid it.
Yeah, well, there's no avoiding this fight, of course. His sole fight this year was that win over Chris Kongo. What did you make of that performance?
I thought Congo started all right, but I feel like Congo sort of loses his way, sort of mid to late. He loses his way, does the same old things, and I think Echo picked up on that and put the pressure on late. And I thought Echo deserved the fight, to be fair.
Yeah. So he won the fight in your eyes, Echo.
Yeah. I think Echo won the fight. I think as the champion, and he finished, very much on top.
In terms of you and Echo, obviously, we know he can go rounds and keep that intensity. How do you negate that?
Well, I think I can do the same. That's something like we established when we were sparring. Like, I'm not someone who can be bullied. I can keep going. I've got a high work rate as well. So I feel like, and I'm naturally I'm massive for a welterweight as well. So I think that has a lot to do with it. He can't bully me, and I can box any which way. I mean, look at the Louis Green fight. I just boxed his head off. and didn't get any credit for that. Sky said they'd give me an opportunity, never got one, probably because it was, you know, maybe not the most exciting fight, but if that was someone else and if it was one of their fighters, they'd be saying, "Oh, boxing masterclass," you know what I mean? Because look at what Louis Green went on to do. You know, he's gone and beat 2 undefeated kids and won the Commonwealth title at super welterweight, and I made that look easy. And then against Dujon and against like Troy Williamson and that, I've showed that I can be gritty and fight on the inside as well and come forward. So you don't know what you're going to get from me. I think that's half the reason people avoid me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Obviously, Echo's been at domestic level for quite a while now. I mean, I think that Chris Jenkins win was like mid to late 2021. Are you surprised we haven't seen him push upwards?
Yeah, I think fair play. You know, fight. You know that he stayed on the British route. I mean, I'm waiting on a date still. So even though the purse bids have been won, I'm still a bit skeptical, if you like, that it'll happen. I think it's just always my luck in boxing. I've had it happen loads of times where fights have fell through and whatnot. So I just want to get a date. So I'm hoping. I think there's about a week left where they've got to let the board know what's happening. So yeah, I just want to get a date. But I know he's defended the belt, like he's won it outright and defended it. But like I put something on Twitter to him. I said like, if you want to fight for the European or whatever, then get the European on the line as well. I'm sure I'd get sanctioned for it. Like, you know, I've got a good ranking as well. If you look on BoxRec, he's number 2, I'm number 4. You know, and then I don't know what we are in the world, but it's not too far apart. Like, can't see why they couldn't do the British and the European. Then he's got something else to fight for, you know. And like, I'd go to Nottingham, take an army of Derby fans over to Nottingham, and I'd beat him. That's what we want. That's what we want.
Yeah, I mean, that would make the fight even bigger if the European was to be on the line. Is there an actual edge in this fight? Like you said, you've shared rounds, so you know a little bit about each other. There is the Nottingham and Derby thing. I know kind of that doesn't translate in the ring at times. Well, it might do.
Yeah.
You might stand there and trade. I don't know. But is there an actual edge to this fight?
No. I think, like you say, there's the local sort of rivalry. I mean, we get on. It's not like, you know, I dislike him. I don't. I think he's sound. You know, it's just I'm at his weight. Like, he's got the belts at my weight. Like, coming into his weight, I want to make him my weight and take his titles because he's got the domestic belts, hasn't he, and a good ranking. And I can't remember the last time there was a massive Nottingham Derby clash for a proper, you know, proper well thought of belt. Can't remember the last time there was. So I think it would do well for local boxing as well because he's not massively well known as well. Like, I do quite a lot of work over Nottingham way and speak to people, and they don't know him. It's just like, it would be good to you know, have a big event, and you know, the winner then takes all the fans from it, if you like, and locally is a bigger star. So I think from that sense, that makes more sense for him to take the fight because he would do well out of it, and might make him a bigger draw. That could be something that he could, you know, get out of it. So we'll see.
Yeah. Going back to Chris Congo, obviously he wanted the rematch with Echo. And he also said to us actually that it would make sense for Echo. I know kind of he would say this. He said it would make sense for Echo to take the rematch, kind of put things that Chris thought to bed. He also said to us as well that it's a better fight because a fight with you stinks stylistically. He said you and Echo, it's a fight that stinks. Yeah, just kind of your response to that.
Yeah, well, I didn't see it at the time because Clifton showed me like just after the Dujon fight. I think it was probably about a month before. I think it was when I was ordered as British mandatory. That's when he did that. So, and I didn't see it, but I seen him at your call, and I wish I'd have seen that before because I would have told him about himself. You know what I mean? Fucking Congo, a little Muppet. Looks like a meerkat, like with a long neck and little pea head. You know what I mean? Little meerkat looking motherfucker. I think it stems from I come to the after I won the Boxer fight, we said to Ben Shalom and Boxer, we'll take the Congo fight. And then he boxed for Mella, and I went down for that, and I seen him there, and he was just trying to like brush me off, and I ended up getting him to bite. You know what I mean? But he thinks he's a big superstar. He thinks he's something special, but he's not. He's lost. He's had 2 domestic fights, 2 50-50 fights, and he's lost them both to McKinson and to Echo. So he walks around thinking he's the shit, but he's not. He's someone who he starts off well and then he runs out of ideas. And I'd do the same to him. I'd bash him up.
Refuse to not be first.
Do we do enough? Well, I never shut up about it.
It must have been about 16, 17. We nicked their guilt rings. Right, the bouncers guilt rings.
This is no good for me. That's the reality. If you want the honest truth, and I see it every day,